This messianic age that Jesus then introduces renders all of that old traditional focus of Judaism out obsolete. After all, it's old, it's crusty, we get rid of it. The Jews were to lay aside that old garment, they needed to wear new stuff, and the kingdom that Jesus was about to usher in couldn't be constrained to such nonsense, and it was going to be new, it was going to be dynamic, it was going to be so much more flexible, it was going to be a vehicle for bringing joy and happiness and to all of humanity. And this would terminate Judaism, because it's now served its purpose. And all of the old Jewish rituals, all of the old requirements, they all pass away with the coming of Jesus. And that's Christianity. There's no compatibility. Thank goodness Christianity comes along to make sure all that happens. Judaism has now been replaced with Christianity. Christianity has preeminence, old for new. Nice and simple. That's the view that is often taught through many Christian denominations, that Christianity has replaced Judaism. The old is gone, the new has come, the church, the Christian church, now has sway. And it leads into something called replacement theology. And replacement theology is that all the promises to Israel are now promises to the church. And Israel as a nation, the Jewish people as a people, no longer have a place or a plan in the works of God. It's all taken up by the church. And I think that is incredibly dangerous.
Well, you can see where it went historically.
And I think it's a huge failure to recognise the incredible trajectory of Scripture and the fact that the Christian faith didn't even exist then. It was Jewish. As a believer in Jesus, we are grafted into the root stock of Judaism. We're not a separate tree. We're grafted into the root stock. But, Howard Marshall, in his New Testament commentary on Luke, says this: the real point is the incompatibility of the two pieces of cloth, and the contrast of new and old is implicit. Whereas in Mark, the deficiencies of Judaism cannot be mended simply by a Christian patch, in Luke, the emphasis is on the impossibility of trying to graft something Christian onto Judaism. They've missed the point of what this parable is teaching. They've missed the Jewish context of the teaching. And I think that that's what we need to go back to. We need to understand what was the Jewish context, what was being said here, how are things being said here, why were they being said, and then what principles do we draw from it. So I don't agree with the way that many denominational evangelical churches would view this. There's so much more interesting stuff to talk about in this than that. This parable about the cloth and the parable that comes immediately after it about the new wine, I think it's sides of the same coin. What we're talking about is Israel and their relationship to Messiah.